It starts in the middle of the night. You wake up. Your eyes are open. You can see your bedroom ceiling. You can hear the hum of the refrigerator or the wind outside. You are fully conscious. You try to roll over, but you can't. You try to lift your hand. Nothing happens. You try to scream for help, but your throat is frozen. You are a prisoner in your own body. Then, the panic sets in. A primal, overwhelming sense of dread washes over you. You feel a pressure on your chest, like a heavy weight crushing the air out of your lungs. And then, you see it. In the corner of the room, a shadow is moving. A dark, silhouette figure, sometimes wearing a hat, sometimes looking like an old woman, is standing there, watching you. It moves closer. You cannot run. You cannot fight. This sounds like a scene from a horror movie, but for approximately 8% of the global population, this is a recurring medical reality. It is called sleep paralysis. For centuries, humans blamed this experience on demons, witches, and ghosts. Today, neuroscience gives us a different explanation. It isn't a haunting. It is a biological glitch, a mismatch between your brain's software and your body's hardware. To understand why you become paralyzed, we first need to understand why you sleep. Sleep is not a passive state. It is a complex cycle. The most active part of this cycle is REM, rapid eye movement. This is when you dream. When you are in REM sleep, your brain activity looks almost identical to when you are awake. You are running, flying, fighting, and exploring complex worlds inside your head. If your body acted out these signals, you would be a danger to yourself. You would sprint into a wall, punch your partner, or fall out of bed. To prevent this, evolution designed a safety switch. It is located in the brainstem, specifically in a region called the pons. When you enter REM sleep, the pons releases two powerful neurotransmitters, GABA and glycine. These chemicals travel down your spinal cord and essentially switch off your motor neurons. They disconnect the brain from the muscles. This state is called REM atonia. You are, for all intents and purposes, paralyzed. Your heart beats, your lungs breathe, and your eyes move. But your skeletal muscles are dead weight. Usually, this paralysis wears off the moment you wake up. The brain and body sync up perfectly. But sometimes, there is a lag. Sleep paralysis occurs when your mind wakes up, but the off switch in the pons is still stuck in the on position. You are conscious, but the GABA and glycine are still flooding your spine. You are trapped in the gap between sleeping and waking. This explains the paralysis. But what explains the demon? Why is the experience almost always accompanied by a sense of evil or a shadowy intruder? Why don't people just wake up paralyzed and think, "Oh, my muscles are asleep"? The answer lies in the amygdala, the fear center of the brain. When you wake up and realize you cannot move, your brain instantly interprets this as a life-threatening emergency. I am vulnerable. I am trapped. Something is wrong. The amygdala goes into hyperdrive, releasing adrenaline. However, you are still partially in a dream state. Your brain is trying to make sense of the panic. It asks, "Why do I feel scared?" And "Why do I feel a pressure on my chest?" To answer these questions, your dream-generating cortex projects a hallucination that fits the narrative. It creates a reason for your fear. I am scared, so there must be a monster. I can't breathe, so something must be sitting on my chest. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you panic, the scarier the hallucination becomes. You are essentially trapped in a feedback loop between your body's paralysis and your mind's terror. One of the most fascinating aspects of sleep paralysis is the consistency of the hallucinations. It doesn't matter if you are a banker in New York, a farmer in China, or a hunter in the Amazon. People tend to see the same few archetypes. The most common is the old hag, or the night hag. This figure sits on the chest, crushing the sleeper. In medieval Europe, this was a witch or a demon, an incubus. In Scandinavia, it was the mara, the root of the word nightmare. In Turkey, it is the karabasan. In modern times, a new archetype has emerged: the Hat Man, a tall shadow figure wearing a wide-brimmed fedora or trench coat. Why do thousands of unrelated people see this specific fashion choice? Neuroscientists believe this is a result of pareidolia, the brain's tendency to find faces and human shapes in vague patterns. When you are in a dark room, your eyes pick up the vague shapes of a coat rack, a pile of clothes, or a shadow in the corner. Your panicked, dreaming brain tries to resolve this shape into a human. The hat and coat are simply the brain's best guess at interpreting a blurry shadow in low light. It fills in the gaps with a generic silhouette. This biological glitch is likely responsible for almost all historical accounts of supernatural nocturnal assaults. In the 1600s, people reported being pinned down by demons. In the 1900s, the narrative shifted. Many descriptions of alien abductions match the symptoms of sleep paralysis perfectly. The victim wakes up in bed. They cannot move. They see small gray figures with large eyes standing around the bed. They feel a sense of floating or being examined. The gray alien has simply replaced the night hag. The biology is the same, only the cultural lens has changed. We hallucinate what our culture tells us to fear. A Puritan feared the devil. A modern human fears the extraterrestrial. Sleep paralysis is terrifying. It feels like death. But medically, it is harmless. It is a sign that you are sleep-deprived, stressed, or sleeping on your back, which increases the likelihood of the airway collapsing, triggering the panic response. The Shadow Man is not a ghost. He is not a demon. He is you. He is a projection of your own survival instinct, trying to explain why the machine has stopped working.